Hey, it's Maria Gabrielle, and today I want to talk about a very simple and powerful and effective way to make sure that you are living each day with joy, alignment, and not feeling like stretched in a million different places, not feeling stressed, not feeling like you're never doing enough, not feeling like you're overworked, and then going home and possibly even letting that out with the people that you love and kind of letting out stress in environments that you don't really want to, or maybe you might feel crappy about doing so later. So what this method is, it's really simple, and it's not something that most of my clients even think about when we first start working together. Initially, we start putting systems in place and creating some streamlined effort for them to be able to scale up and thrive in their business. And we then start to focus on their home life, because scaling up and thriving in your business often means that you will be taxing yourself somewhere else, whether it's your health, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your home life or your parenting. And so we often make sure that everything is aligned and streamlined in all areas of life, so that you're not crushing it in one area and suffering with your health because you're burned out, or suffering in some other area that's important to you. And the way to do that is so simple, and it's almost a no-brainer, yet it is so powerful, and it is the method that keeps us on track and keeps us in aligned, inspired action. That's really what I want to talk about today. Most of the time, we want to be good parents, good workers, good bosses, good partners. And the thing is, if we're not living our truth, if we're not living a congruent life that's honoring what's in our heart, and we're taking action around that, most of the time, no matter how much we want to be able to live well in all these areas of our life, it will suffer. So how do we go ahead and take this aligned and inspired action? Well, it's only 1 minute a day. It's an exercise that takes 1 minute a day. And honestly, all it is connecting to spirit and allowing yourself to start your day with noticing what is it that makes most sense for today's 3 actions that I want to take, for today's 5 systems that we want to put in place. What is it that will be most aligned with my truth and the business that I'm having and my family? I want to get a little more clear with that. So for example, I had a client who was an amazing mom, crushing it in motherhood, crushing it in parenting, yet she didn't even know what living in her truth meant. She didn't know what was in her heart, what she was being called to do. And I see that often. I see that with parents that, they're great at mothering, and yet they're being called to do something more. And they're like, I love my kids, I love my family, but I kind of feel like I want to make an impact and make a difference, or I want to create this product that has always been in my heart, or I want to start this foundation or this school, and they just don't know how to do it, so they just keep not doing it. And then again, that's not living in alignment, that's not living in truth. They may be called to be a doctor, they may be called to be something else, and they have no idea how to start that. And so it starts to build resentment, it starts to build irritability, and that shows up in ways that is really unhealthy in the relationship and even in the parenting, and they feel guilty. Another example is clients that start to crush it, but they start to feel like, even though they're succeeding, something has changed, they've evolved, and their business is no longer feeding them in the way that it used to. Their job, they're not showing up at their work with the same passion that they once had, because it's become only work. And so we have to pull back and say, okay, well, what feels most aligned, most right for you right now? And maybe you have to make some adjustments, but you won't know what that is until you take that 1 minute out each day to find out and ask the question and find out exactly what does living your truth mean in this present moment. And that requires you to connect with your higher self and spirit. All the answers are in there. All the answers are in your unconscious. All you need to do is tap into them instead of going about your day and doing, and not living organically, not living in flow, not living in alignment, not living your truth, and not living your best self ultimately. Because when you are living in alignment, you are actually living happiness, because you're doing exactly what you want to do, what you're called to do, what your purpose is, what your passion is. And doing that creates more happiness. Creating more happiness makes you more pleasant to be around, whether it's being around your team or your family or your partner. or your friends, your community, and being around people having joy being around you and you being more joyful on your day-to-day just creates a happier life overall. And that's simply just out of doing what feels right in your day-to-day. I have found that stopping for a second, pausing, and tuning in to make sure that I'm doing what feels most right intuitively has created balance and harmony and joy, and the resentment is gone, the stress is gone, because I always know I'm in aligned action. I can't stress this enough. And all it takes is 1 minute. So for today, I would love for you to go ahead and try that. If you haven't started your day like that, just go ahead and take a pause and say, is what I'm doing today most true to my heart? Is what I'm doing today what I desire? Is what are my actions today most aligned with my highest self? And gosh, you can't go wrong from there. So I would love to know if this is something that you've tried already. And you know what? And if you don't know what that is for you anymore, if you've lost your inner compass, if you lost your bigger why as to why you're doing what you're doing every day, or you're just feeling like it's just not aligned anymore, there's some disconnect, you can go ahead to mariagabrielle.com. I have a questionnaire on there that connects you back to your big why. And having your big why is the most important, and that always comes from a deeper place. Make sure you don't lose sight of that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime. Otherwise, go ahead and enjoy that questionnaire. Again, it's mariagabrielle.com. It's on my website, but I would love to hear comments from you. Is this something that you've done? Have you started your day like that, day to day? And what results has it provided for you? Wishing you a blessed, aligned, congruent, balanced, harmonious day filled with joy, doing what you love, and succeeding and crushing at it too. Talk to you soon. Bye.